Hello, welcome back. We're going to read another chapter of Upstairs Mouse, Downstairs Mole. Yesterday, we learned about how the two friends worked together to solve some problems. Today, we're going to be reading a chapter called The Invitations. The Invitations. Mouse found an invitation in her mailbox. It was from her neighbor, Mole. Dear Mouse, if you are not too busy, please come join me for our lunch to celebrate our new garden. Your neighbor, downstairs, Mole. Around noon, there came a tap, tap, tap at Mole's door. Glad you could make it, said Mole. Please come in. Mouse had picked dandelions for the occasion. For you, she said, until our flowers come up. Mouse looked around the room. My, but you keep a nice tidy hole, she squeaked. Thank you, said Mole. It was a bit damp inside Mole's hole. Mouse shivered. Damp. That looks like it might be cold. That might be what that word means, cold and wet. Mole also kept his place rather dark, as bright lights hurt his eyes. Mouse bumped into the table as she sat down. Bump. Mole poured a cup of tea for Mouse and one for himself. I wasn't sure how you liked your worms, said Mole, so I prepared them two ways. The ones on the right are lightly fried. The ones on the left have not been cooked. Dig in. Mouse took one of each to be polite. I'm thinking that maybe Mouse doesn't want to eat worms. Let's see. Mole filled his plate. He was starved. Mole crunched and Mole slurped. Mouse poked the worms on her plate. The one on the left wiggled and squirmed. Mouse's stomach began to wiggle and squirm. The one on the right looked greenish gray. Mouse's face turned a greenish gray. The damp air made her sneeze. Achoo! Oh, goodness, Mouse, said Mole. You do not look well. I don't feel so good, moaned Mouse. Please excuse me, Mole, but I think I had better go upstairs and lie down. She bumped into the door on her way out. Bump. That evening, Mole found an invitation in his mailbox. Dear Mole, I am feeling much better. Please join me for dinner at 6 o'clock to continue our garden celebration. Your neighbor, upstairs, Mouse. At 6 o'clock, there came a tap, tap, tap on Mouse's door. Right on time, said Mouse. Please come in. Oh, you are looking much better, said Mole. Thank you, said Mouse. The evening sun poured through the windows in Mouse's house. Oh, Mole covered his eyes. He walked smack into a wall. Smack. Mole bumped into a table as he sat down. Bump. Mouse poured a cup of tea for Mole and one for herself. I was not sure which cheese you preferred, said Mouse, so I cut up two kinds. The one on the left is cheddar, and the one on the right is Limburger. Help yourself. To be polite, Mole took a thin slice of each. Mouse loaded her plate. She was famished. Famished is a great word, which means really hungry. Mouse nibbled. Mouse gnawed. This sounds a lot like what happened before, doesn't it? Mole's head still ached from walking into the wall. He began to wobble in his seat. The bright light over the table hurt his eyes, and the strong odor, that means smell, of Limburger made his stomach flip-flop. Plop! Mole toppled right off the chair. Mercy, Mole, squeaked Mouse. Are you okay? Mole groaned. I feel a bit dizzy, but excuse me, Mouse, but I think I had better go downstairs and rest. He bumped into the door on his way out. Bump. And that's the end of the chapter. In that last chapter, The Invitation, we learned a little bit how our friends can be a little bit different, can't they? Have a great day reading today, and remember to think about the characters you're reading as you read your books.